Okay, I think we need to get started again. Is the door closed or will it start to, is it open, but then it will start to make noise again. Yeah, please close it. Okay, here's a purpose I don't want to see. But you don't believe it. I see it from time to time, but I don't want to see that. Another thing I was thinking about during the break is you can, in the introduction, if you have a stakeholder, you can actually have an extra title there telling who it is. But you need to ask the company first. So please ask the company and say, are you okay with me publishing who you are? And if they are okay with it, then you put it in the stakeholder, as a stakeholder. In the introduction, you should not say, Ericsson wants this product, or which one it is. In your introduction, you should talk about the area in which you are. It doesn't have anything to do with the company. Yes, they might be the one who gave you a topic to work with, but in the thesis, this is a scientific thesis. We are not driven by any company. So, but we can still do something for a company that we can write about. But they're two different things. So think about that. There shouldn't be, unless you have a stakeholder, that's where you put it. Before that, you don't have anything with the company to do. You can also, in the background and in the problem statement, you can talk about commonly known problems in the area, because if one company have problems, there are the same companies out there will have the same problems. So it's very, very similar. So think about that and write about that in that way, and then just put the stakeholder there. I sometimes get questions, if the company doesn't want to tell who they are, what should I do? I want to say that company X want this, 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 or the company X is in this way. I usually say, well, you can use A, B, or 1, 2, or something. Or if it's just one company, just say there is a company as a stakeholder and say something about it. You don't have to mention the name. At the same time, when you talk about the company, don't say things that everybody could guess who it is. Okay? So don't say that the company is a telecom company doing things for Sweden and other countries and work with telephones and things like that. Because the more you give, the more it's easier to actually or guess who it is. So think about these things. Okay, during the break I got a question about what is the difference between purpose and goal, and that's very hard to actually get the differences, and it is. So here are some examples about goals, and I give you examples, you can work with it. But the goals is the goal with the product, or who will benefit from what you are doing. That's the goal. And commonly goal is make something more efficient, or maybe a goal is a system that has another functionality that the current system actually lacks of. That can be a goal. Or a goal with a project might be to get methods that will be implemented in organizations that could do something for the organization. So try to distinguish between the purpose of the thesis and the goal with the work. So think about this all the time. And I know that sometimes you feel like, well, the purpose is the thesis is the goal of the project. But usually it's not, because when somebody asks you to do something, you don't necessarily write about it in the thesis. Because as I say, in the thesis you generalize your results. In the goal, it's a detail just for that company. The work is for that company. You don't generalize it. So try to separate it by thinking, okay, purpose with the thesis, goal with the work. And I know it's hard, but try, okay? And here I wanted to give you at least two different things, but also in the end, I wanted to emphasize the goal that is for society and public welfare. And here we have some problems because we say increase the profitability, and we talk about public welfare. What actually can happen sometimes is that what you do actually puts you in a hard position, because it might be so that you need to think about ethics. Is this ethical correct? And also, sometimes you maybe think about sustainability of what you do, because you need to think about that when you're here. Everything must be sustainable, even what you do. Will it be sustainable if you do it for your company, or if you do it for all companies that have similar problems? Well, if you only do it for one company, it's a low sustainability. But if you generalize it for many companies that could use what you have done, that you have better sustainability. And I also know it's really hard with sustainability in computer systems, because as everybody knows, a computer system get born, it get developed, it continue to extend, and it dies. And that's for every system that's out there. It's always been the case that we call it like a echo wheel for computer systems. It's been for programming languages. It's just a matter of time before Java dies. Then we will have something else. So we have maybe Python or Ruby on Rails that will maybe be interesting, but it might be yet another tool we don't know yet. And the other one will go out in the window, out from the market. So that's how it works. So sustainability when it comes to system is really hard. And then I read, okay, if I do this, okay, the computer needs electricity. It's like, well, that's not really the sustainable thing here. Sustainable thing here is that we have the society to think about. We have the economics to think about. And we have the environment to think about. Can what you are doing be a part of all these three pillars? If you can answer yes, and you will really be able to say that it's sustainable, that's very, very good. But don't come up with things that is not sustainable, because it will actually lure you into a corner you don't want to be in. Then it's better to say, okay, for the economics this is good, for society this is good, but it's really hard to give any good suggestion for the environment. That's fine, but just be fair, because it's a part of sustainability, but it might not have to cover everything. Okay. So ethics, sustainability, and the society welfare is actually three things that is in one title in the introduction that you should write about too. So that's there. What's so difficult then with the thesis? Well, you seem to have everything here. What is so problematic? Well, it is how you harmonize the title, the question, the purpose, and the goal and conclusion. Because your title drives the question. So if you say in the title, you are a prototype for, I don't know, Jesus, I can't think about anything. A prototype for helping disabled people, okay? What should be in the question? Well, the question is, what will the prototype contain to be able to provide help to disabled people? So the question harmonizes with the title. It must be similar to the title. Almost, you